Good morning. I've been looking at, let me get this up of here. Oh, that's about right. This does not want to get off of there. War grain. I've been looking at, that's about right. I want to do this video and they got this thing stuck on here. They got blackout plans, 7 days of darkness. More or less, you might as well say 7 days of blackout plans. You heard about the 10 days of darkness, 7 days of darkness, 3 days of darkness. I think I figured out all this stuff this morning. I did. I have people talking about we got the darkness coming, prepared. Good morning, everyone. We're looking at this right here, and we've been hearing things about the supply chain disruption. I've got insight on that too. It all makes sense to me now. They are going to completely collapse. The supply chain is literally going to collapse so that it can be rebuilt digitally. And so every single thing can be tracked. There'll be nothing hidden. That is the end goal. You break down the supply chain. You put a severe disruption. That way you can have your conferences and stuff, and you can digitalize with tracking of every single thing from start to finish. I think that's why it's going down. I believe that's why it's going down. Okay, I really do. So let's look at this. This just came out. So dark time, war game emergency blackout plans to cope with 7-day outages. Reveal disruption to the water supplies and the transports. The government is secretly testing emergency blackout plans. It has emerged. Secret documents reveal that major fears among government officials over how Britain will cope with outages that could last 7 days. The government is secretly playing war games as they test it. Emergency blackout plans. Hola, hello. The program is different from the national grids scheme, which could see blackouts occur on the coldest days between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. in January and February. Leaked material from Program ERO. The plan for dealing with normal blackouts suggests all sectors, including food, water, and transport, could be severely disrupted in a worst-case scenario. The confidential papers obtained. Newspapers show how the elderly and the kids will be prioritized in such an emergency. Brits with caring responsibilities will also be the first reached by teams who also provide emergency shelter. So you can come over here. You can see it. The government is planning, it's testing plans to cope with energy blackouts that could last up to 7 days. That's in Britain. I'm sure they're doing it in other places too. So when you hear the 10 days of darkness, 3 days of darkness, I think this is what it all is referring to right here. That's right. The sick and the poor will not. Government test plans for blackouts that could last up to 7 days. And they're not joking, you all. They really are not joking. The blackout plans to last 7 days. And what happens is the water also gets cut off. And even the radio stations, they go to only a certain couple channels to save the energy. You only hear a certain channels. Look at this. How do I prepare for electricity blackout in the UK? Charge your mobile. Keep your mobile phone charged and ready for use in the event of a power cut, so you can reach out to your friends and family of our priority services for help and support. Keep a torch nearby. Stay tuned and keep a contact. How to prepare for a blackout in the UK. So you all might want to listen, because wherever you're at, you might find it too. Build or buy emergency preparedness kit, including flashlight, battery, cash, first aid supplies. Make sure you have alternate charging methods for your phone and device. Keep your cell phone charged and have a supply of batteries on hand. How long do they last? The blackouts are typically 1 hour, then the power is restored in another area turned off in the house stations or whatever. Will there be a blackout? Yes. How long will your food? Can you live without power for a week? I guess you're going to have to. What happens to your body during a blackout? Oh, they're talking about you having a blackout, you all. So, they are testing it. War games. Look, see, war games. I tried to click into one of these because it had a map on it. And Google would not open the map. It showed the map where it was going to happen. Plans for Britons to deal with up to 7 days blackout plans. From 3 hours, from 3-hour power, the scary ideas. Yeah, let's see the scary ideas from the 3-hour power. You know that's coming. And really, the supply chain, you all. I'll take you to the thing about the supply chain. Well, this actually works into it also. I think we've already been here. They'll show the elderly and the kids. The fact that they're talking about it does mean that it means that they have a real concern. And it prepares for a situation in the winter where the power is unavailable without warning. So they want to do this. So they have departments across the country involved in stress testing of yarrow in recent days. So if your electricity goes out, they're doing stress testing. They are in place to offer a roadmap how the country can respond to a national grid went down. Lightning strikes, they say lightning strikes, or flooding at a substation are outlined as potential reasons for a blackout in the official sensitive documents. Well, we know that we have documented a lot of lightning strikes, and it is happening. A hostile attack on Britain's infrastructure, similar to that on Russia's attack on the Nord Stream pipeline, is also mentioned. The impact of a blackout could be further complicated by Met Office warnings that Britain may be entering the cold winter. Communication systems could be knocked out in a blackout. It would mean just analog FM radio stations would work, and the Beeb would only broadcast Radio 2 and Radio 4 by generators. The plan suggests 60% of the electricity demand will be met between days 2 and 7, when households and businesses will be given intermittent access to ration their supplies. Energy regulators would restore 100% of the electricity demand after a week. That's if the grid didn't go down in a worst-case scenario. Program Yarrow is more severe response that plans the National Guard to perform rolling blackouts to save on energy. It's not clear who would lead the response efforts in a long-term energy outage. The government spokesman said it's right that we plan for all potential scenarios and work with the industry. So the national grid down, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. in January and 7 whatever. You can see it's planned out. They did them in the 70s. There's 15 power networks in the UK. In the case of a looming shortage, the national grids will notify households they will be cut off. So this 3 days of darkness, the 10 days of darkness, and all of this. It's to this right here. Really, this is what it is. So if you live there, and even if you live here, you can see that here. You could see it anywhere in the world. You really can. Don't think that it's only going to happen in a certain place that you're safe. You're not safe. You all keep moving the phone over to that side because I'm not used to holding this anything like this, see right here, this energy crisis, I wanted to click on this map right here because they got a map. If you can pull it up, you should look at it. So I go over here to click on it, and I go to Google, and this is what Google does. Nothing. Nothing. They don't want to show the map. They leave it blank. Nothing. Okay. So let's get to the transportation supply chain. So they're having meetings all around the world, reaching new heights. The global conference and stuff on part of the supply chain. They're having meetings all around the world. They are. And they are going to digitalize the supply chain. They've got digital blockchains and stuff like that. They do. That is going to streamline big time and cut out the middleman, is what they're doing. This is all about reorganizing and transforming. There's also a shortage of amoxicillin. There's shortages of serum because the ticks. There's shortages of everything, you all. Look, advancing supply chain transparency. They mean digital. You've got to take it all down, you all. I'm just giving you a heads up, and I'm not making this up, you all. There's jobs for all this kind of stuff, too. But, yeah, there's all kinds of news. If you go to Twitter and you go to the supply chain, the supply chain or whatever it is, transportation, you'll find all kinds of people talking about what's actually happening and stuff. But you got they told the farmers need to, with the supply chain, the farmers need to get their supplies now, they said. Get your belts on your machines. Get them ordered now. You need to be thinking 1 to 2 to 3 years down the road, if you can't afford it, to get any supplies you need for your farming. So this is going to go into 2024, you all. But it's going to have a severe disruption, and there is a blackout. Blackouts are coming. 7 days of darkness and blackness. Look, look how they say you could be plunged into darkness. They mean it. They mean it. Oh, you're welcome. I woke up at 5:30, and I looked at the supply chain on the Twitter last night. Then I decided I was going to look again this morning because I have been hearing about how they wanted to digitalize the supply chain, and they've got the blockchains and stuff already built, and everything is already up and going. They just got to bring it down almost to a screeching halt, and then put their digital things in order, and they've got to hire people who understand how to streamline it. And when they streamline it, you all, it cuts out the middle person. You're going to see a lot of job losses also. So with the diesel fuel shortage, also they said something about Myanmar fuel wars and stuff, all of this kind of stuff. Oh, well, if the grid goes down, it goes down, and you're plunged into darkness regardless, really. But everything that's happening, and the shortages and stuff, and it's specifically the supply chain. Before it even started, I remember reading about it a couple years ago, you all, about how they wanted to digitalize it, to blockchain it, because it streamlines it big time. You can't hide. They track every single place that thing goes, any type of merchandise, from the raw material till they get to wherever they go. So you really do need prepare. You need to prepare, you all. Please prepare. Especially you're over here. They're not playing, and we only got a few months. And when the diesel runs out, that means the gasoline goes. You can get in gasoline for your car, because everybody, when they hear the diesel's going out, they're going to go to the gas stations, and they are going to fill up their gas cans. And then you're going to see the yellow bags on the gas pumps at the gas stations, is what you're going to see. And you're going to go to another gas station, and you're going to see that too. And then you'll see the price jacked up with these diesel shortages and stuff. But it is. I don't know if they've been showing this blackout plans on our news here in the United States, or if you haven't, because if Britain is planning, you know the United States is planning too. You all please stay prepped. This ain't no joke, and they call them war plans. You're running out of time. You really are running out of time. How do you prepare for a national blackout? Yeah. They could last longer than 1 hour. Don't take their word for it. Oh, they only say it's going to last 1 hour or 3 hours. No, don't take that. Don't know. No, it could last longer. They said lightning strikes and floodwaters. And they'd only have two, what was those type of radios they would have? Emergency radios, only two FM analog stations going. Yeah, anything could happen. Anything. It's cold, you all. It is. So I know this ain't a UFO video, but you know it really could be. And when they said lightning strikes and stuff that could knock the power out, well, there's something up there in the skies. You saw by the observatories in Hawaii how those ships, they were coming out of the clouds, those interdimensional ships. You could see the lightning all in the sky. I think there's some kind of battle going on. So if they refer to lightning strikes, I'm automatically thinking there is a battle going on above, and it's not normal lightning strikes. It's a battle. So you just need to be prepared. That represents a grid down. So the 10 days of blackness or darkness, the 3 days of darkness, 7 days of darkness, this is what it's talking about, I'm quite sure. And they got the war games, and they're not going to get the stuff that they hoped they would get because of the supply chain issue and the disruption to the pipelines and stuff for the winter. And yeah, you'll be on your own, really. Oh, we'll have it each other. You probably won't have the internet. I wonder if they'll cut the internet out, you know, because if you don't have no electricity, yeah. Water supplies transport. You better save some water. Water can freeze also. Oh my goodness gracious, you all. I'm about tired looking at this stuff. But yeah, they are in the meantime having about the supply chain. They're having their meetings. They're having them now. Their conferences and stuff about the supply chain. So they can restructure the supply chain. Is what they're doing. The restructuring. The common sense supply management. Yeah. Develop supply. Look, see. More collaboration is an urgent need to develop supply chain and to become more business partners. Yeah, China's making sure they got their logistics and stuff. You know how in Amazon, if you worked in Amazon, you know, the boxes come on the cart. And inside those big gaylords, there's items with, you know, a code on them, excuse me, barcode or something. You scan it and you go store it in a cardboard drawer or something, and you scan that too. Well, they're going to use a different method. And with these new QR codes, you can cut the QR code in half and it will still be able to tell where it's at. It would, but yeah, the blackness is coming. The 10 days of darkness is coming, you all. It is. I'm not just saying that. And this supply chain is going down because they're restructuring it. I do have a business mind too, you all, whether you realize it or not. I used to be big time into stuff like that too. Yeah, global investors meeting, and they are meeting. So you got your heads up, you do. You got your heads up, you got your head screwed on straight. We got to make sure your head's screwed on straight. Gina Honey's going to make sure you got your head on straight. The darkness, the 7 days of darkness, the 10 days of darkness, the 3 days of darkness, boom. Grid down and or severe disruption to your electricity. And the supply chain is getting rebuilt. Okay, so that's it. Yeah. You pray that it doesn't come to fruition, you all. Solar generators, yeah. Oh, New Jersey. Well, hello there. I'm Chris, honey. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day while you're on break. I really do. Underground cities, canned goods, you all. Get canned goods while you can, really. And you may have to eat. This person said, I said, this is when I first moved here. We went to church up the road, and this woman was talking about food shortages and stuff, and she was a meat eater. I said, well, what if you couldn't eat meat? What if all you had was garden vegetables? Because I love gardening. I'd rather die, and I'd rather starve to death. I said, well, I guess you're going to starve to death. She said, I'll starve to death before I eat vegetables. Okay, guess you're going to starve to death, you all. You get you some canned vegetables. There's pasta. Pasta lasts a long life. You know, I bought a thing of pasta. It was over 10 years ago. I used it. I had found it on my shelves, and it was still good. Pasta has a very long shelf life, you all. Extremely long. And rice can get a kind of a rancid taste or smell depending on what you store it in and how it's stored. Flour, if you go buy flour, you all, if you buy flour and you put 3 dried bay leaves on top of your flour, it literally keeps the bugs away. It does, and it can last a long time. Dried bay leaves, it has some natural repellent, and it's not just for flour. I'd say it would be with other dry things that you would do, okay? But yeah, we got the 10 days of blackout, 10 days of darkness, 7 days of darkness, 3 days of darkness is referring to blackout, war game plans that they got in place. And if the British government is doing it, your government's planning it too. They got all kinds of scenarios. It's like the food chain reaction game, remember? From the World Economic Forum, they all met together. The food chain reaction game, now we're in it, and supply chain, it affects it all. How do I store rice? I just put my rice in a bucket. I do, with a lid. Like a 5-gallon bucket with a lid. And when I want to have some steamed rice, I just go down there and I get a cup or maybe 2 cups of rice, and I just steam my rice. It lasts a long time. It'll last at least a year, maybe more, depending on how you store it. And if you're hungry, well, you don't care if it has a funny taste, okay? If you're starving to death, you're not going to care if that rice has a funny taste to it. I mean, you don't want to get whatever, but yeah. You can research it, but bay leaves, dry bay leaves, you're welcome. Yeah, rice does last, and if you can season that rice with like some bouillon or something, if you can find really cheap bouillon granules and stuff like that, they'll last a long time, even though they may like get hard. You can like put hot water in it, will come back to its liquid consistency. You might want salt too. Salt Salt is cheap right now. It's 54 cents. If you go to Walmart, get some salt, get some plain salt, iodized salt. If you ferment, you want to use some plain salt. You want the bare necessities because you may not be able to get it because they're not playing. See, they say playing war games. No, they're not. It's not. So, good morning, you all. I'm sorry to send this to you. I really am. I'm sorry that you have to see this or hear this. Because it's not something you want to wake up to or see about. I'd rather share, you know, the UFO stuff. It's more lightning and exciting, you know. But this right here, this ain't no game. It's not at all. Caucus, yeah, couscous. Yeah. Get some books. Get some book, maybe a board game. Go to the thrift store if you're going to get a board game. They're a lot cheaper there. Yeah, Grand Rising U.S. So the government is secretly testing emergency blackout plans. 7 days of darkness. That's where it's coming from. So what people are saying, when we've been hearing it all the time, there's going to be three days of darkness, 10 days of darkness, and it never came. This is what they're talking about because they know it is coming. Yeah, crafts and stuff. Quiona, like the 12th, if out over 72 hours of time since the 30th. You all, yeah, but share your comments here because we've got to be able to connect as long as the electricity is up and the internet's up, so you can get as much information as possible and ideas from other people. But did you all hear that on the news? Did you hear about it? The government, because it just happened one day ago. I don't think it's being showed on the U.S. televisions. I'm sure they got other things they're talking about. And I think there's like a 14 or 15 days left of diesel. And when the diesel goes out and the trucks don't move, and if they do their strike, they ain't going to move and you're not going to get gasoline delivered to your gas pumps. You're not. Just prepare for your family. How do I prepare for a 10-day blackout? You all can look it up yourself. I'm not making nothing up. Nothing. You can go to Twitter. You can read the supply chain. Just type it in. This is all can be found. It can be documented. Gina Honey's not making nothing up. I'm not. Susan Honey, hello. I am going to go, you all. This is, it's been long. It's like a 27-minute video. It's a 28-minute video. I am going to go, you all. So, again, this is what's planned. They got their war plans, war games right here. So with that being said, you all, again, I'm sorry to share this. It ain't too happy of a news, too lovely. But you don't want to be caught off guard. You don't. So with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. You all give this video a thumbs up. Let me come over here and find this button on this phone, you all. Love you.